9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
What is going on, people? What is going on? Welcome back. It's Thursday. That means it's Prem Panel time. Almost a full cast, but Lewis should be joining us lately. But we've got the gang back. Look who it is, bottom left. What's going on, bro? What's going on, MrAaron's back in the building. Pleasure to have him back as always. And we've needed a little Man United defendant. But maybe it was a good idea because Man United have been getting cooked. You come back at a great time, bro. But we'll see. We'll see how everyone
finally get a win,
it.
and then he throws up.
I've been missing for a minute with Man United. Listen,
right? Yeah, George, KG, what's going on as always, brother?
All good, man.
Yeah, good. All good.
I know, and as I said, Lewis should be joining us. So hopefully we get a full panel. Cal, Matt, what's going on, boys? You lot okay before we get started?
Yeah, man. I'm blessed. Other than the fact of hearing about Jota's injury, but
I'll touch on that briefly towards the end. I just want to get, I was actually gonna get the pleasantries out of the way, but he's not here. World Club, Cup, they won it. They're champions of the world. I guess he doesn't get his praise. There's no point bigging him up when he's not here, is there? You know what I mean?
Late to the
is
party.
what it is. Say, George?
Indeed.
We're saying late to the party. Doesn't deserve it.
Yeah, Chelsea are world champions, blah, blah, blah. We move, innit? All right, yeah, let's...
No one cares.
Let's get the rough out of the way. Let's get the rough out of the way, all right? I know it was a long time ago, so I'm not going to touch on it for a long time. But I just, I don't know if you guys have had a chance to stake your case for why you shouldn't, panic with what happened at the weekend with the top four race, obviously, for George, and the relegation-ish battle for KG. I'll start with George. Come on, let's start with the team that's letting me down. I'm taking this one personal, George, if I'm being completely honest. I'm taking this one personal. Because if there's anybody right now who I would have thought would have stopped Man United and Arsenal from being able to finish top four, it would have been Conte. I almost put money on it when you got that man through the door. But you know what? Surely Tottenham. And I think it was like 7-1 at the time. It was something where I would have got decent money back. You know what I mean? And now I'm understanding why the odds were high, bro. Talk to me. Wolves. I mean,
that was not me, by the way. For everyone is that you, Matt, with the shade?
That was. I don't even know where to begin, man. This was that last week all over again with the Southampton thing. To be honest with you, like, there's too many weeks now. I keep saying that's like the worst performance I've seen. That's the worst performance I've seen this year. This, that, and the other. But it just keeps on happening, though, man. Like, we're at home. I get it. Don't get me wrong. Wolves' defensive record is the best in the league, apart from Man City's. There's no denying it that they've done well, especially away from home. But come on, man, we didn't press them at home. Their midfield probably had one of the easiest games of their lives, man. We couldn't get control of the ball or anything. Maybe second half we got a little bit more of the ball, a little bit more possession, but we did nothing with it, man. And yeah, it's just a pretty embarrassing result all around, to be honest with you. So not really happy. I think the team. I was kind of sold a dream a little bit. I kind of sold myself a dream, if I'm being honest. A few weeks ago, when all games are going well, apart from like Chelsea, I was willing to look past the Chelsea game because I was like, yeah, you know what, we always lose to them, whatever. But now after Southampton and Wolves, to big realization that this squad is just not good enough at all in so many key areas, and we're in trouble until the summer. So I want to see that end.
Before we move on, because I can tell you're in pain, so I don't want to drag it out.
Rip the band-aid, just rip it.
I don't think anybody here would deny in any way, shape or form that Conte is a world-class manager. That isn't even in question. But bro, surely he's got to take a bit of responsibility here, because I do hear a lot of people blaming the players. But he must figure out sooner rather than later that a few of these players aren't good enough and just don't play them. That has to be put on the manager. And isn't it for him to find a way to get the best out of the players, even if the best isn't that good? He's surely got to be doing better than like Davies a centre back, and it just weird things now. Like Doherty doesn't work, Royale doesn't work. Maybe you just got to stop playing wing backs. Like you don't have a good one. What's the point in playing them if they're gonna be alive? Like, how are you feeling about what Conte's actually doing? It cannot just be the players, bro.
Yeah, to a certain extent, it will be on him a little bit, only because like there are games, and I've said this, I think I said this last week. There are games like when we played you guys at home, where we played a 3-5-2, slightly different formation, an extra midfielder, and we pressed you a lot higher in that game than we've done most of the games recently. Definitely pressed you a lot more than we did most of the games recently, and we looked a lot better for it. And it just seems to be in the last 3 games or so, we've sort of done the exact same lineup with the exact same plan, and we've let 2 teams now, which realistically are like mid-table teams, just come to our ground and just bossed us, really. We've kind of stood back, and our team doesn't have that fear factor in us at the moment, which is a bit mental, like especially at home, because you just don't see them. Okay, let's look at the Southampton Man United game, for example. Even though they got obviously like got a good result of it and whatever, Southampton stood off of Man U a little bit in that game. I felt like, especially, but not compared, especially compared to when they came to our ground. Like it was completely different. There was at least there was that little bit of different fear factor for us. It just felt like it was easy for a team to come and just apply their plan, and we should never let that happen. So I think a little bit tactically was definitely wrong. But then the problem is, like you're saying, like some of the players that aren't good enough. Who do you replace them with? If you take out Davis, you're putting in Rodon. We don't know if he's good enough. Doesn't really get any minutes. If you take him out, we literally got no one left. Tanganga's injured. I would like to see a midfield 3. The problem is, with all the outgoings we've done, we've only got 4 available and Skip's injured. So we only have 3 actually available to us right now. So if he plays all 3 and 1 gets injured, then we're screwed, because now we've got no backup in central midfield. So that's when I think it comes down to the ownership, because I think it was, don't get me wrong, I think it was great. The 3 players that they got rid of, I think had to leave. But they had to replace them adequately, and they didn't. So now we're stuck with a fairly short team now, especially quality-wise. The right wing-back situation is just lost. We've got 2 dead right wing-backs that, just constant rotation every week, because one puts in a stinker, so the next one comes in, and then they put in a stinker, so the next one comes in. So what I'd like to see is a little bit of experimenting and put maybe, I don't know, Lucas right wing-back. Even Conte himself said Kulusevski could potentially play right wing-back. Whether that works or not, who knows? But that's where his coaching comes into it. So I think there needs to be a little bit more switching up in terms of that regard. But to be honest with you, I think most of it comes down to the fact that the options that he's got available to him is just terrible compared to the other clubs he's been at. And it's pretty obvious.
Yeah, I mean, I hear that. It's going to be very interesting. But as I said, I'm taking it personal right now because I wanted Tottenham in that top 4 and it's getting on my nerves. Maybe I should start supporting United or Arsenal and then it'll flip around. Maybe I'm the bad luck. I don't know. As I said, we're not going to spend too long because I don't want to put you through even more misery, KG. But we got to talk about it because people are talking about the whole Lampard-Bielsa thing last week, and there wasn't anybody here that thought Everton were going to win, especially not convincingly anyway. And you had a brilliant performance before that against Villa. Bro, what happened, man?
Yeah, I mean, it was our second worst performance of the season, easily. The worst one was Southampton. That one was awful, but Everton was very, very close behind. It was just the same things that have hampered us all season in terms of wrong team selection, bad quality of players, and ridiculous substitutions as well. So it was a mix of everything that came together against Everton. And as I mentioned last week, Lampard's desire to beat Bielsa, which I don't think Bielsa takes into account either. But Lampard always will want to beat Bielsa. Just you know the type of guy that Lampard is. He's never going to let that go. So he's always going to want it more. And yeah, it's just been a thing that's been plaguing us all season in terms of players that are playing that shouldn't be, and other players not getting a look in. So yeah, it was awful. It was awful. We made Everton, who at that point had only won 1 game since the start of October, look amazing. and that's been us all season long.
I mean, Brentford and Leeds, there's been a lot of talk that you guys might actually get pulled back in when you both look like you weren't going to be in it. I mean, just briefly, do you think you've got to worry about the relegation battle, or do you think you'll just have enough regardless of what's going on?
The thing is, at the moment, it's a question where you're thinking, well, we need to see Burnley win more than one game. We need to see Watford score a goal again. And who's the other one? Norwich. You never know what you get with Norwich either. But the fact that we are still being talked about in those teams shows exactly where we are right now. And five wins in 23 tells you that you are in a battle. Now, if we do survive, it's going to be very ugly. It's not going to be pretty. You know, there's all kinds of distractions. The fan base has never been this divided since Bielsa's been here. And, you know, Rafinha's now reportedly put talks on hold for a new contract. He's not doing that, which was pretty obvious anyway. It was quite a pipe dream in terms of him signing a new contract. And I do think that the January window has impacted that as well, because he didn't see anybody come in. He didn't see any of the bad players go out. So he's thinking, well, why am I signing a new contract here? And he's well within his rights to do that. So for me, I hope he goes to PSG and we never have to see him in the Prem again.
Massive PSG, you know.
Well, and obviously we've got the big one this weekend on the panel. So obviously we're going to be chopping up Leeds a little bit later on as well, and you know what I mean, we'll get into some of the who's going to play and
just to finish on that, Bielsa as well. There's been more talks more than ever now in the news about him leaving in the summer. I do think he's going to be gone in the summer. I think he'll feel that he can't take us any further. So we've got all the background noise as well as the bad performances. It's just a bit of a bad mix right now.
Damn, he looks good in white. He should stay that way.
That'll be interesting, man. Because if Bielsa goes, obviously that's a big move. If it's Leeds' decision to get rid of him, I mean, like that'll be a big move. So that'll be interesting one to look out for.
I think it will be. I think it will be one of those mutual agreements. You know, that come out mutual agreement that they've decided to part ways. I think it's going to end up being one of those.
Fair dues. Well, like I said, we'll be getting back onto Leeds again because they'll be playing your team, MrAaron, at the weekend. So that one should be fiery. But you've come back at a good time. Brighton 2-0. Talk to me. You finally got a win, bro. What's going on?
It was about time, man. It was about time. We've had a few bad results. I don't really like drawing games because, especially if you look at the way we've played in the past few games, it's not really been the best. You know, the draw at Burnley was very frustrating because you go up 1-0. What I think happened at halftime is Rangnick told the boys to keep the lead, control the game. But then, you know, when you've got someone like Maguire at the back who's just a complete calamity, and I think Man United fans have come to accept that he's got at least 2 or 3 mistakes in him every game. That's like the standard.
Wow, that's peak.
That's mad.
We've actually accepted the fact that he's got mistakes, at least 2 mistakes in him every game, at least 2. We've accepted that. So when he got spun the way he did by, who was it, Weghorst?
Yeah,
we weren't surprised. It still pissed us off, but we weren't surprised. So, yeah, man. On top of that, you know, there you go. On top of that, there's all these leaks coming out day in, day out, and it's just at the beginning you're like, yeah, cool. I don't really care about the leaks. Personally, I really didn't. But then when it's every day, you start questioning what's going on in the dressing room, and you think, hold on a minute. Who is this guy who keeps leaking stuff to the press? And I don't know if you guys have seen Gary Neville's little speech on Sky Sports, and he says that he knows who's doing that. And my take is, and I told you guys in a group chat, my take is, I think it's one of the English boys. That's what I think.
Okay.
It makes sense. He's protecting him. That makes perfect sense.
If you had to put your money in it, would you guys first say Like out of the boys, who do you think it is, or you don't really want to say? I'm not even putting you on the spot, but if you,
My guess, I would say between Rashford and Maguire, but I would lean more. Towards Rashford because he's got this thing where he feels like he needs to defend himself constantly. I think Man United fans are as well. Another thing we've accepted is we know he's not running his own Twitter account.
Facts.
He's. Listen, I've got
very
no.
few of them do. Very few of them do, though.
Yeah, I know, but I've got nothing against players defending themselves when stuff is being said about them that's not true. I've got no issues with that. That's fine. If you feel like you have to come out and shut it down, that's okay. You can do that. If it's once every 5-6 months, I can accept it. But when every story that comes out, you feel the need, or your team or whoever's around you feels the need to come and tweet through your account and say, guys, it's not me. Guys, I've thought about this XYZ. That's why I think it's not me. Like, you're coming across very, very suspect, in my opinion. I don't know if you guys remember the picture that him and Lingard took with Wiley.
Yeah.
And then there was a little bit of uproar because of what Wiley did and why he got suspended from social media. Rashford immediately came out with a tweet and said, I don't condone what Wiley said. In a sense, even apologized for taking a picture with Wiley. And I'm like, hold on, man.
Yeah.
We're talking about Wiley, bro. How many times are you going to see Wiley in your life? Not many times. So, bro, you took a picture with him. You posted it. Own it.
Yeah. That's how you felt. Do you know, I feel like it is with Marcus Rashford. He tries to maybe pretend to be something that he ain't at times. And like, you see him taking that picture with Wiley. That's just him being normal, bro. Like, he saw Wiley. Yeah, Wiley, come and take a picture. Soon as you get backlash, no, I didn't mean it. I didn't realize what I was doing. It's like, bro, just like, if that's how you feel, innit? Like, don't just like now all of a sudden backtrack because you're getting heat. I feel like he does that a lot, in my opinion, Rashford.
He does that so many times. He does it so many times. And I just feel like as a footballer, as a professional footballer, if you're going to start coming on social media and shutting down every single rumor, you're basically being like us, man. We tweet every day. We tweet bullshit. We say whatever we want. You're basically like us now, which means journalists are looking at you and thinking, hold on a minute. We can rattle you now. We can just put out anything. And we know you're going to take this and say, guys, it's not true. Like the situation with Christian Folk yesterday. Christian Folk, the Bayern guy, came out and talked about Man United having a divide in the dressing room because certain men don't want to follow what Ronaldo's doing or saying, or they don't like the way Ronaldo's questioning the mentality. And Christian Folk came out and said that, you know, there's a divide and Rashford is part of one of the sides, one of the two camps. Rashford hadn't even been mentioned in that tweet. Like he didn't at Rashford, but Rashford still took the tweet, quote tweeted it and said something along the lines of "Don't cause any divide" or something like that. Christian Folk doubled down on it and said, "It's true, and you know it." And I'm like, "Whoa, that's mad." Because now you're just looking silly.
That's mad.
You tried to defend yourself. You tried to clear your name. You tried to make sure that your name's clean. But the journalist has doubled down on the fact that you're part of that. You're looking silly. So I've had a few, back and forth with people on Twitter saying, yeah, but if you were a footballer, Aaron, would you not like try to shut down rumors about you and things that are not true? I'm like, no, I wouldn't. Because I'm a professional footballer. I've got no business being on Twitter shutting down rumors. If I've got a place where if there's a place where I should do this, it's on the pitch, not on social media. I've got no time for that.
Do you think just like because it just kind of popped in my head, like don't get me wrong, I think what he's done politically wise in terms of getting the food for the children, whatever, I think is great, and I think he should still carry on with it. But do you think now that he's done that stuff, and because he got not backlash, but because he got questioned by politicians about his integrity and what he's doing, is like, oh, you're just a footballer doing this, like do what you know, this, that, and the other. Do you think because of that whole like sort of altercation between him and like politicians, he's now sort of having to back up almost everything and sort of prove that he's okay in everything now, if that makes sense?
Yeah, absolutely. You're right, George. I think Rashford has come to a point where he has to speak out about everything now because of what he's done off the pitch. And like you said, I've got no issues with that. You know, he's essentially done something that the government didn't want to do, and props to him for that. That's cool. But I think, and this is something that
extra responsibility now. He's sort of like, oh shit, I need to look good all the time, otherwise I'm going to be questioned again.
And he put a target on his back, innit?
He's got a target on his back, and he has to carry on doing it now, because if he doesn't, people are going to be on his case for that as well and be like, hold on a minute, were you not the guy that was standing up for XYZ? Where are you now? Why are you not speaking anymore? Yeah. So,
which is a shame.
Carry this on.
And which I actually think is very unfair, you know, bro.
Yeah,
I think it's very unfair.
It's taken his focus away from football, whether you like it or not. Rashford hasn't been producing. It's been over 2 years now, going on 3. He hasn't been producing at all.
Can I jump in on this quick?
Yeah.
So I agree with everything you're saying, and obviously I'm speaking from a position of just getting this information. You're like, you know, Man U way more than I do, so I'm not even trying to downplay or would try and downplay anything you say. But I watched a video from Tifo the other day where they're basically breaking down, I don't know if you've seen it as well, they're breaking down Rashford and why there's potentially been a little bit of a drop in his levels and stuff. And since the age of him breaking through to now, he's played more football at his age than any other player in the league. And I think they compared it to the likes of like Michael Owen and Trent. And I think he's played like in excess of like another 10 extra games a season over Trent, for example. You had the season where he required surgery for the whole season, didn't get it, was playing injured for the whole season. You've got the fact of different changing managers and different changing tactics, etc., changing his position. Obviously went through the pandemic where he did what he did, like politically and stuff like that. So again, I get the frustration. As a football fan, we want to see our players performing on the pitch, but is it sort of a bit like looking just at things on the surface rather than digging a bit deeper and just thinking, right, what is he? What, 24 now, isn't he? Or something like that.
Yeah, 24, yeah.
And he's played so many minutes for his age and he's not really getting a natural break. And then he's playing for England as well. Do you not think it could be a case of he just needs to be taken out the firing line and his minutes needs to kind of be managed? But because of the lack of quality around him at the moment, he's been forced to play virtually every game. So do you not think that could potentially be pushing him in the direction that he's going as well?
I don't think it's necessarily the lack of quality that we have. I think the reason why he's been playing so much is because of the status that he's got now in society, not even in football anymore, in society. He's got the number, he's wearing a number 10. He's on big money. He's an academy product. So I think all those factors come into play, and that's why he's getting so many minutes. I'm not going to say blame, but I think Rashford has to make his decisions for himself as well sometimes, and he has to be smart. You just mentioned the injuries there, Cal. That injury that he had, I think it was it the 19-20 season or 18-19? Just before the pandemic. I think it was 19-20, yeah. When that season was finished, actually, no.
No, it's 2021.
It was last season.
Was it that one we had to have I wanted to say shoulder.
Shoulder.
It is shoulder.
Shoulder and ankle. Yeah, the shoulder injury and an ankle, and he needed, and those injuries required surgery. I think everyone, even you guys at the time, probably would have said the same thing. Finish the season, take a break, go and have that surgery, work your way back up slowly, come back and start the season fresh. What does my man do? He refuses to have the surgery because he wants to go and play for England. Wrong decision. And he hardly played during the Euros. He hardly played because even Southgate knew I can't risk to play Rashford game in, game out because he's injured. Yeah. So I think Rashford, for himself, he has to make decisions for himself as well. When Ollie was in charge, Ollie wanted to play him every game. And during that season before the pandemic, he was playing so many games that he had a stress fracture. And to the point where just before the pandemic, I think it was the Wolves game in the FA Cup, he just collapsed. He was on the floor and he was just in pain and he couldn't play anymore. And thank God that the pandemic came around because he had time to recover properly. And he was literally forced to recover properly. So if nobody's telling Rashford that he has to recover properly from an injury, he's just going to want to play regardless because he feels like he has to. or it's like an obligation for him. He owes it to the fans, to the club. Whereas you need to be thinking about your body, bro. You're 23 years of age. It already looks like you've lost a yard of pace. And I've said it, players with pace only and not a lot of trickery, they don't last long in this game, because once your pace is gone, you're done. You're done. And the game is changing every single year. Players are getting quicker and quicker. The youths that are coming from the academies are getting quicker and quicker. Like, do you know what I mean? If people forget you, there's going to be a kid that comes from God knows where, from any academy, who everybody loves, who's going to be sicker than you, and everyone just forgets about you. So Rashford needs to think about his body. He needs to think about recovering properly from injuries, because he had injuries and he's recovered, but he came back too early and got injured again. So he needs to think about all these factors, man. There's a lot going on at Man United, bro. Rashford is just one of them.
Do you know what's quite worrying is that, for me, I feel there's quite a lot of parallels as what's happened with Dele's career for us, because he had 2 very serious hamstring injuries, and the first one he came back too quickly, and it effed him up again the second time round. And to be honest with you, he has not looked well. We all know it, but like, it's pretty much been since that second time he's had the injury, he's not been anywhere near the level. And now look, he's had to like drop down to Everton or whatever. He's not in the England setup anymore, and this could genuinely happen to Rashford. I feel like longevity is just a lot harder thing nowadays for players to stay at the top level. It could be that it could be wraps for Rashford if he doesn't look after himself, even though he's only 23, 24 years old.
Yeah,
because this happens to others as well,
man. 100%.
He actually reminds me a lot of the Mike Malone situation we had at Liverpool in terms of overplaying him, and then now it's bad because we look back at Owen. I'm probably the most guilty of it, to be honest. But we look back at Owen and think, oh, he only had like five top years. When you're thinking he really should have been, he should have gone out as Liverpool's best ever striker. Really and truly, the way he started, he should have been the guy that everyone's like, remember Owen? He was the guy. He won us this, he won us that, which he did, but didn't sustain it. But Drifty says it a lot. Footballers don't all like really think about themselves. They always think about, we want to do this. And as Drift says, you have to be sometimes saved from yourself. So I get what you were saying about Rashford sort of wanting to, or should be looking after himself. But as a footballer at that age, he's not even going to think like that. All he's going to think is, oh, the manager needs me, so I need to go out there and perform regardless of how my body is. So shouldn't it come down more to the coaches and whoever is out there being like, well, yeah, you want to play this, you want to play that, but your body's saying, no, you need to have a career. I'm taking you out. Surely, again, I don't want to keep on banging the Ollie drum, but surely Ollie's got to be like, I'm the manager here. You need to take a break. You need to stop this, or else your body's going to break down, which is what we're kind of seeing now.
100%, bro. 100%. I mean, from a personal point of view, I remember when I was younger, and I was playing, I think I was about 15 or 16 at the time, and I had glandular fever. I don't know if anyone knows what that is, but it's like a really system debilitating virus where you're just exhausted all the time, and rest and vitamins are the only thing that can get you back. And I remember my manager really begging my mum to let me play in the semi-final game, really for 2 weeks leading up, just please. And because I got a bit better, my mum was like, oh, go on then. She knew I wanted to play. And it made me ill for another month after I played, and I just shouldn't have played. And that was my manager begging. So Ollie's like that guy where, you're right, he should be the one thinking, I've got to think of the boy's health, not me trying to win a football match. I've got to think of his health. Because if my manager weren't begging my mum to let me play, I would have accepted I'm not playing, and I just would have been in bed. But because he was like, I need him, I was like, I want to be there. We want to make the final, rare. You know what I mean? You got to be safe from yourself. You do. I remember Gerrard. What's really interesting is, I don't know if you guys remember, Gerrard missed the World Cup to have that operation for growing pains. Do you remember? Because he kept getting injured over and over again. And it was a massive sacrifice to miss the World Cup. But the operation then gave him another 10 years of a career. And if he didn't have that operation, who knows what would have happened. So Rashford should have really took that tournament off. You get it. You want to play. Gerrard must have been devastated he missed that World Cup. But you've got to think about your longevity. You know what I mean?
Bro,
so
just look at I know that it's a different age gap, but even look at someone like Van Dijk who had a really bad injury and could have went to the Euros. But what did he do? He said, "Nah, do you know what? Yeah, I may be 30, but I've got to put my body first and my career first. And yes, he's older, he's going to be thinking like that. But you can also look at it on the flip side. He's thinking, how many more Euros am I going to play in? How many more are we going to? Am I going to win one? Because this could be the best crop of players that I've seen in a long time. But sometimes you just need to kind of look after yourself. Like, and I think Rashford, yeah, maybe, dare I say, a little bit wet behind the ears, so to speak. And I think you guys are right. He needs to really start thinking about himself sometimes, because there's times when I feel like, yeah, bro, you shouldn't be playing. I know the manager might ask you, but you know your body better than anybody else. When that manager leaves Man United, you might still be here and you're there taking painkillers like Daniel Agger. Remember Daniel Agger, guys? Who literally used to play on painkillers because remember when Brendan Rodgers called him out that time against Swansea? Wilfred Bonny was badding him up and he's like, oh, you let him go, rare tear. And I remember Daniel Agger, I think he said one time, he's like, bro, this guy does not understand. Like, I'm playing on painkillers like every day and I'm still doing my thing. So it's crazy. Sometimes you just have to, you know what I mean, take a step back and look at your career, man.
I mean, the Man United situation, just quickly, that Ted Lasso thing, just to lighten the mood. Aaron, talk to me. How on earth, can that level of disrespect be coming out? Like,
I think Aaron's frozen, you know.
I reckon it's KG the comedian still.
Aaron's frozen.
Oh yeah, no, he has. Aaron's frozen. That's. I mean, you guys. If you were getting them kind of liberties, because we've all been in the dressing room or even in the classroom where like man don't like the teacher or whatever, and you little banter and that. But imagine doing that to a man, and then the whole world knows your banter, and this guy's just got to come into work every day knowing what people think of him. That's that Man United situation is just peak, man. I don't know, man. I don't know. But look, when you got Maguire for 80 mil, you know what I mean? When you got all these madness, Ronaldo. I mean, before we move on, Aaron, I know you froze. Ted Lasso, what's going on in your dressing room, bro? Like, man can't be just boying it like that and just deliberately, accidentally, on purpose, leaking out that the man's a clown and then he's got to walk around knowing what everyone thinks of him, man. What's going on?
I think a lot of players, not everyone, but a lot of players are being taken out of their comfort zone and they don't like it. A lot of them were comfortable under our previous manager. They've been told that they're unbeatable, they're the best in the world, they're this, they're that, they're untouchable. And this is how some of them are behaving. I don't know if you guys, remember the leaks that came out about Man United players moaning because they had a double session and the second session was dark and apparently they don't like playing in the dark and it's like
but they need the what the fuck?
That cannot be real. That can't be real.
In the dark, you know, I'm done.
Is the boogeyman gonna come again?
That can't be real.
How old are you? Like, am I back?
Yeah, you're back.
You're back.
It might be delayed.
Yeah,
the Glazers have got to the internet, innit? The Glazers.
Yeah. This happened last time. Do you remember?
Whenever you say anything bad about, or even just like controversial about your club, I swear down, your internet just gets roughed up differently.
It's got trigger words.
Trust me. Anything like any sensitive words, boy, they're on you, bruv. Just start flooding your line, bruv.
He's good again. You know what? We'll move on because obviously...
At least he's frozen smiling. He's in good spirits.
Yeah. Real talk.
He's in good spirits.
I just wanted to ask you a little quick question before we move on to the preview for the upcoming weekend. Because I was watching some Europa League games earlier today. I watched the Napoli-Barca game. And it was actually a really entertaining game. So I just wanted to ask you, look, just quickly. The Europa League, in my opinion, the name change was part of the disrespect, and then way too many teams from the league being asked to play in the Champions League, meaning that all the quality was in the Champions League, and then you didn't really get that many of the good teams in the Europa League. Is why that competition started to be, you know, looked at in a certain way or whatever. But I don't know if you lot agree with me or if any of you lot have a different opinion on that. But do we need to stop the disrespect for the Europa League? Do you lot think, or do you think it should be disrespect or whatever? Because it's a European competition, and I really am starting to realize that people can't be moaning about what trophy they win. You know, people go, oh, forget that trophy, forget that trophy. We're in the final with the worst cup in England. But I want to win it in case it's the only thing we win, because I want a trophy in the cabinet this season. Do you know what I mean? Like, so I don't know what you lot feel. Do we need to stop disrespecting the Europa League, or do you think it's deserved?
I don't think it like. So for me, obviously, me personally with Spurs, I cannot complain whatsoever. I would have taken the Conference League this year if we were to win it. Like, I can't complain about the trophy itself. But I don't know about you guys. Like, obviously, being a Spurs fan, been in the Europa League quite a few times in my life. I have not been like excited at a Europa League game anywhere near the level of the Champions League games. Is the problem for me. So I don't disrespect the trophy itself because I'd love to win it. Don't get me wrong. But I don't get excited when I'm at the games anywhere near comparison to the Champions League. I think that's the difference. Even when teams do drop down, it just wasn't, I don't know. For me, and personally, just the atmosphere just feels completely different. It almost feels like a bit of a ball ache. It's like, we have to play the Europa League game this week when we. But the problem is, like,
you know, bloody
like, because obviously at Spurs' level, we're trying to get the Champions League spots, right? We're trying to get top 4, and when we were in the Europa League and stuff and trying to get top 4, it made things a lot more difficult for us because we never had a big squad or a good enough big squad to be able to put on one team in the Europa League to do well, and then another one the weekend for Premier League to get Champions League. So for us, it kind of felt like, okay, do we have to play like a really good team to do well in the Europa League, but then sacrifice potential points in the Premier League? Or it was a bit of like a 50-50. So I don't know. For me personally, I never really got that excited in Europa League games, but maybe that's just because Spurs never really did that well in the competition.
Yeah. I think when it comes to Europa, if I'm not mistaken, because when do you start? If you're in, like, say you're in Europa, you start from like July or something, innit?
Yeah, so early.
I'm not gonna lie, that's probably where that stems from, because it just feels like, man, starting football from July. Some people are still in pre-season, and you're playing Europa League games, and I think it will always be seen as that competition.
I think that's only qualifiers, though, isn't it, Matt? The group stage doesn't start then.
Well, maybe so, but that whole competition shouldn't even be starting, and whether you're qualifying for it, like, you should not be playing football in July. That's part of your pre-season. But that's just part of parcel if you are in that, obviously, that qualifier, yeah?
Well, we had to play 3 Europa Conference League qualifiers this year. So
yeah.
It was just long. Hell. Yeah, we had to play 3 in like August.
For the Conference League qualifiers?
This is what I'm saying. You see them two competitions there?
Also won the bloody FA Cup. We would have been straight through, which is mad.
This is my point. Them two competitions there, there's too much going on. There's too many games just to get to the final. The only time fans really care about those two competitions, the Europa Conference and the Europa League, is when there's a final. Because let's be real, guys. You know, when we was in it under Klopp, yes, we probably took more interest because maybe we played Borussia Dortmund against Klopp's old team. But especially when it got to the final, that's when it was real tricky. Not saying that we didn't want to win it, but the games beforehand.
No, I disagree. You know, Matt. We played Man U, Dortmund, and Villarreal until the final. I enjoyed that campaign more than some of our Champions League.
See, this is the problem. As a Spurs fan, we get knocked out by like Dynamo Zagreb. We never get to play good. That's probably why I can't get excited about the competition.
For me, I enjoyed it, but when I think about the enjoyment that I've had after that, there's a big difference. So don't get me wrong, it's not like I didn't appreciate it and I was getting into it. Of course I was. But when I think about the game against Barcelona, and then I think about the game against Man United or Borussia Dortmund, it's completely different. It's completely different. And it's because it will always be seen as that competition. If you win it, it's good. But if you're just, if you don't win it, you're a bit like, all right, if we win it, it's cool.
So would you say we're all in agreement, sorry, Cal, just quickly, that it was putting too many teams in the Champions League, taking those quality teams away from the Europa League, which has diminished the quality, which is why now it's not looked at in a good way then, do you think?
No, not for me personally.
The Champions League teams drop anyway. Like the third ones drop, so they still have a few good teams in there normally.
I think for me, I'll be honest, I think it's English fans who are kind of to blame for it being looked upon the way it is. Like, you look at teams like Sevilla and Villarreal and Atletico Madrid, like they like love this competition. Like, they don't disrespect this competition. I think it's us as football fans, like Arsenal fans used to be the worst when they were always getting top four. Oh, you lot in Europa, you lot in UEFA. We do it. Liverpool fans do it now, like because we're in there. So I think it's us as football fans. It's a way of us bantering a team slightly lower than us. It's a status thing. I actually think the Europa's a very hard competition to win. I don't think it's a coincidence that we didn't win it, United didn't win it, Arsenal ain't won it. The only one who really has had decent success in recent years is Chelsea, and you look at their squad, they should be.
Well, United won it under Mourinho.
I was going to say United, Mourinho time.
Yeah,
but they lost the last year.
That was what 26.
They lost. Mourinho era was 20.
No, Mourinho wasn't that long ago, was it? Aaron, what year did you win Europa League?
They had Ibrahimovic, didn't they?
2017.
Oh my God, was it 5 years ago?
Yeah. And again,
and
again, no disrespect to Man United because obviously they won the trophy, but you look at their running towards the trophy, like to win the trophy. If I'm not mistaken, it was like Getafe and teams like that, right?
Yeah, Saint Etienne.
Or Celta Vigo.
There's no prestige there.
I mean, Chelsea had Arsenal in the finals. That's an easy win right there. So,
I don't know. Like KG might potentially be he would be the least biased in this, like in terms of like the question, because I'm always going to be biased. I'm going to want a Champions League, especially if there's like if Man United get Europa this season. I'm laughing for the summer because you bought Champions League Varane and you bought Cristiano Ronaldo. That's meant to catapult you to the league, not diminish you to the Europa. So again, I think it's us as fans as opposed to the quality of the competition or anything like that.
Yeah, I kind of do agree, KJ. I mean, obviously, as a team who hasn't played in Europa League recently, what do you think of the competition?
No, I like it. When we was in it many years ago, I wanted to win it, and I think when you add in that you get a Champions League place if you win it, I think it just adds extra prestige to it. There is definitely the case of the English fan snobbery towards it, and it's used to ban clubs that aren't in the Champions League. But we win the Europa League tomorrow. I'm celebrating all year long. So yeah, I will take Europa League any day of the week.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, I think
someone just put in the comments, it's the third biggest trophy in world football behind winning the Champions League in your domestic league, right? Like, surely we'd all agree winning Europa League is better than winning the FA Cup. Like, surely.
Well, now because it gets you Champions League. That's what I was going to say. I think the two changes they've done that made it much better is the winners go into the Champions League. That's made the competition a lot more important now because there's more incentive to win it. If you can't get there through the league. And I think the second thing which they introduced this year was reducing the number of games for the winners of each group, because the winners of each group go straight to the quarters now, don't they? Or last 16. Last 16.
I didn't know that.
So they changed that with the Europa League and Europa Conference League now. Is the winners of the groups go straight to the last 16. The second place play against the teams that come down from the above competition.
Like a little playoff kind of thing.
Like a little playoff to get to the last 16. So if you win your table, which normally you should do, if you're like a good enough team, then it's fine because it's the same amount of games as a Champions League anyway. Which I think that's a good change, to be honest.
That is,
yeah. And I think maybe financially, I think there should be a little bit more emphasis put in Europa League, because when I worked out that Liverpool gained, I think it was something like £15 million, literally for just winning the group. Yeah. Like literally, like it was like, whoa, okay, like, you know what I mean? That type of money. I think it's only 2.5 million for winning the Europa League, if I'm not mistaken. There's no incentive there, is there? Like, you're like, oh, we go all this way, and then we get what you get for winning one game in the group stages of the Champions League.
Yeah, this is just like very quickly on that. Like, this is the sort of the problem with our ownership at the moment at Spurs is that we're highly, highly prioritizing getting a top 4 spot over any sort of trophy, just because the prize money to win the trophy is just nowhere near just getting a Champions League spot and what you get for being at just the group stages, which is obviously a problem for fans because we want to see a trophy, but the club doesn't really have that incentive to win it because it's not going to make them the bread. So.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, I just wanted to touch on that because I was watching that game, and Napoli-Barcelona was a bloody entertaining game. I don't know if anybody else watched it.
I think it
was actually really entertaining. I thought, you know what, good on the Europa League having games like this in it with two prestigious clubs, because the competition just gets disrespected, man. Ferran had an absolute stinker though, but yeah, that's another talk for another day. All right, guys, we're gonna actually, can we get through some of the super chats quickly before we move on, Cal?
Yeah, let's do it. Cat Sunday says Tottenham have championship players. That's why. Yeah, this could be another cooking session, George. Sorry, bro. Yeah, sorry, George. Alex says George looks like he's aged 20 years since last week.
I look like a Obama before and after his
Hey, bro.
Aiden says, how many Man United players have been consistently good?
Well, Aaron just puffed the cheeks like.
De Gea this season?
De Gea. De
Gea's played very well.
And you know what? Anybody who feels like De Gea isn't the best goalkeeper that's ever played in the Premier League, I really want to have a sit down with you and just ask you why. Because for me, this guy is like, take away the 18 months when he fell off, when clearly there was stuff going on behind the scenes.
18 months. I think it's longer than that, bro.
Because you have to factor in what's been going on at Man United to a degree, because he's only a human being. He's only a human being. You have to factor that in. And for the last 18 months now, he's been sensational.
Ask Aaron. Aaron, how would you say it's longer than 18 months?
That's like me saying I'm a good guy, but forget about that 18 months when man was on the roads and all that.
No, but then if I added some context to it and I said that your children would have never eaten and they might have starved to death, people would be like, well, you know what? All right, fair enough. No, but you've got to take context into it, man. You have to, bro. There's context to every story, man.
No, do you know? Let me ask Aaron. How long would you say De Gea was out of form for? I think it was longer than 18 months. How long would you say it is?
I'd probably say a good 2 years.
Oh, just a little bit longer then.
That's 2 years. 2 years is a lot.
Okay, hold on. He was pretty much superhuman for about 6 years prior to that drop off, and now, for about the last 12 months or so, he's almost back to that form he was at before that. So we're talking about 7 years in the Premier League where he's probably unquestionably the best goalie in the league. Even people like Peter Schmeichel and all that probably didn't do 7 years worth of being unquestionably the best. Come on, guys. Like, De Gea is just, I think he's a ridiculous goalkeeper. Like, I don't know.
Let me ask you a question, Drift. Is Van Dijk in your top 2 best centre-backs? In the Premier League?
If you're talking about longevity, I can't put him in there. But if you're talking about the level he reached for like his peak, I think he's the best to ever play in the league. So it depends what argument I'm having.
So that's what I'm saying. For me, it can't just be longevity. That's what I'm saying. Like, you've got to take everything into account. So
I am taking everything into account.
George literally.
Just walking around.
Can't believe what I'm hearing.
Man's making the panel get up and shake a leg and all that. Shake and bake.
Look, if you could tell me a defender who had a better 24 months than Van Dijk did, then tell me. If you can name me a defender who had a better 24 months than Van Dijk did from 19 to 21.
Both had to begin with. But anyway, we'll move.
Nowhere near the Van Dijk level, bro. They were never touted to be Ballon d'Ors. Nothing.
Good one.
Anyway.
What do you mean by that?
Look, maybe we'll have the De Gea talk another day. But for me, De Gea is a different level goalkeeper. I've seen him do things that are human, but that's just me anyway. All right, moving on then.
Paul Robinson.
Last super chat. Sorry, Aiden says how many? No, not this one. Sorry. Cat Sunday said thoughts on Ronaldo spitting on Elanga. That's fake. If I'm not mistaken,
just
that looked like an accident to me, though. The way it looked like
he actually land on him.
It looked like Elanga was walking off and he spat, but he spat, but then it looked like it accidentally hit him. I'm not gonna.
When you got like the sprinkler on the wrong setting or like the hose and it just like sprayed, like it sort of sprayed really far out. Like,
firstly, did the spit actually land on him? Did it actually land on him?
I think.
I don't know.
On his shirt, on his shoulder.
It might have been a bad angle, innit? It might have been
if it lands on him, the conversation has to be had. I don't care how senior.
Yeah, but he doesn't spit at him though, does he? Like he just.
No, true. But even still, I've got to say something. I've got to be like, bro, this what happened there, bro. You have to wipe off or something. Something's got to happen here.
This will be Cal.
Yeah, I mean, the question has to be asked why he was that close to him and did it. I guess because like, bro, if I'm about to do that, I've got to look around and check who's there before I do it. I ain't just gonna willy nilly do it in case it hits someone. Do you know what I mean? So,
accidents can happen.
Cage's hurt because that's his boy. That's his goat right there, spitting on young boys. Ooh.
It's a non-story, man. It's a non-story.
It's gonna be my goat.
If I ever get nicked, I want Kage to use my lawyer.
You guys literally try and make a story out of everything Ronaldo does, man. It's like I think you guys are more obsessed with him than he is of himself, and that's saying a lot. You guys have always got
never.
It was
Ronaldo's.
It was accidental. It was nothing.
I thought it was accidental. I genuinely thought it was accidental. That's why I was just like.
You know what? To be fair, he brings it on himself though, KG. There's nobody more like self-obsessed in football than Cristiano. Like, I don't know, but anyway, I saw the man kissing his own shin pad with his face on it before he put it on. I was just like,
wait. Can we stop that? It was his family on the shin pads.
The picture of the shin pads I saw had his face on it. If it's his family, then I get it. But the one I saw had his face on it. So. If it's his family, then I would never question that. But I saw that he had his face on it. I was like, right, man kisses himself before he puts his shin pad on. What the hell?
Imagine
if I was the first ever person to get 400 mil followers, I'm kissing myself on my shin pads. I don't care.
Anyway, let's use that as a segue into the upcoming game then, obviously at the weekend. If you could bring up the fixture list for me, Matt. But obviously, we know we're going to start a big one. We've got Leeds versus Man United. It's panelists versus panelists. So we've got to start there. We have to. KJ, I'll come to you first, bro. Does Leeds being at home make a difference in terms of your form? And talk to me. What do you think of this game, bro?
The only way it can play into the factor in the game is if the crowd run it from the start. A lot of these Man United players won't have played in an atmosphere like Ellen Road where it's so close and so hostile. So we're hoping that can rattle a few of them. But it also depends on how we start the game, because the way we've started against Villa and Everton in the last two games has been appalling. And if we're as open as that against Manchester United, they will carve us open a few times before 10 minutes has even hit. So it all depends on how we set up. And I set out a team on my preview with Saeed, and I said, I don't care how defensive it looks. We need to set up banks and make them try and break us, and then use Dan James and Rafinha on the counter. That's how we need to play this game, because if we play like we did against Everton and Villa, it might be a long day. So that is the only thing, and we have to play to 100% of our ability because the quality just isn't there. So, but there are things in that way, but it is tough to look past Manchester United in this game, even with all the drama coming out. And it's funny, they were talking about the PR and everything, but Maguire is the one that's being alleged as the leak. And then 40 minutes later, he's got a video on his social media of him meeting a sick kid. That's just what's going on at Manchester United right now. Bruno Fernandes has just tweeted out he feels safe between Bally and Varane. So even though it's in jest, and it just sets up talking points that he doesn't rate Maguire, doesn't it? The indirect of it. But I don't think that's going to make a difference against us, because we have literally been appalling defensively. And if he plays the team that I think he's going to play, then it's going to be a very long day in our midfield.
Fair enough. I mean, Aaron, obviously you got into the game with a little bit more confidence after beating Brighton, which, to your credit, I think you played quite well in that game, to be fair. I think in the first half, Brighton were passing you off the pitch, and I was like, right, is this Old Trafford? Like, what is going on? But then you lot did pick it up, and ironically, where you're normally worse in the second half, you were way better. And then you actually got the win. How are you feeling going into this game, bro?
I'm not going to say I'm feeling too optimistic, because you never know what can happen with our team. I think in recent games, we've shown that even though we can take the lead, we make stupid mistakes at the back and we concede stupid goals. So, and on top of that, you can't forget that we have Atletico on Wednesday. So I think Rangnick is going to change it up a little bit. I don't think it will be our strongest lineup. I think he'd want to keep, the strong players for Wednesday, because we play on Wednesday. Probably get back to Manchester by Monday, have a recovery session, travel on Tuesday to play on Wednesday. So I don't think we'll play our strongest team. But this is where, I would have wanted, the likes of Martial, Ahmad, and Van der Beek to still be here because they could have gotten game time. But they're gone now. They're on loan. So that probably means that we have to play some of our strongest players and maybe take them off after 60, 70 minutes. But yeah, I'm feeling okay for this game. I think I'll be happy with a 1-0 win. I'm not going to lie to you.
Yeah. I mean, Man United need the 3 points no matter how they can get it, right? Like, it ain't even about the performance anymore. It's just about the win now. I'll come to you first, Cal, as the non-involved one. How do you see this game going, Leeds Man United?
I don't know, Drift. Like, being honest, because you don't know what Man United are going to turn up. Well, in fact, again, Aaron, no disrespect, you kind of know Man United what it's going to be. They're probably not going to dominate the ball, but they might have moments where they might snatch the game.
Yeah,
Leeds, it's probably the Jekyll and Hyde of this situation because Man United pretty much haven't played great football for the majority part of the season. Leeds can turn up and play good football, or they could have an Everton performance. I think it's less likely for them to do so at their home ground. But I'll be honest, if Leeds actually turn up, it's just going to be a case of can Leeds actually stick the ball in the back of the net? Because if Leeds turn up, they'll outplay Man United. Because for me, Man United still have no structure on the pitch. But for me, it depends on Leeds. But obviously, I'm hoping Leeds do it. Sorry, Aaron. Sorry.
So what would your score prediction be, just quickly, Cal? Because I'm going to get KG and Aaron right at the end. So what would your score prediction be for this one?
I'm going to go 2-1 Leeds.
Okay, interesting. Matt, what do you think of this one, Leeds Man U?
I think it depends what Leeds turn up. If Leeds turn up like when they're really on it and they want to do some damage, then I think it's going to be a very good game. If it's the Leeds that kind of just don't show up, Man United will beat them, even though Man United haven't been amazing either. But I do think Leeds being at home, surely that's got to count for something. Like, it has to. I think they need Rafinha, they need Dan James, they need basically all their best players to play at maximum level, kind of like what KG said. They need to be ready for this challenge, and I think they will be. I'm actually gonna go. The things with Leeds, I like. The thing is, when they play well, they play really well, and I even like the way how they play. They just don't have a killer though. They don't have as KG when I say this reference, they don't have a dog like up front. They don't have that killer. Like, so.
Sorry, can I just ask, like, what's happening with Patrick Bamford? Because I haven't seen him in time.
Just about to ask that.
I don't know. Only KG can answer that.
He's done, man. Yeah, he's done. He's had a few different injuries. Ever since he signed his new contract, he's had one injury after another, and I don't think he's coming back for the rest of the season.
Wow.
Is Gelhardt still out, KG?
No, Gelhardt's available, but this is what I'm talking about, fellas. It's about team selection, which has been holding us back, and he doesn't play him. He'd rather bring on Tyler Roberts before Gelhardt. And before people start ripping on and questioning Bielsa, they rip on Tyler Roberts, where I've gone past the point of criticizing Roberts because you know what you're getting from him, but yet Bielsa just keeps on throwing him on ahead of Gelhardt, so it is what it is.
Yeah. Need to see more Gelhardt still. Need to see the future.
I like Gelhardt, man. I like him.
Yeah, so with that being said,
honestly, any other club that had Gelhardt in our position would be playing him, but yeah.
Yeah, well, with that being said, I think Leeds will play well, and I think it's going to be a 1-1 draw.
Fair dues. I'm just going to rip the Band-Aid off. Apologies, KG. I think it'll be 2-0 Man United. I for some reason, I just feel like Man United will get the goals in the first half, and then it'll just become maybe a bit of a stalemate in the second half. But obviously, I hope I'm wrong. And just quickly, KG, Rodrigo, he played, I think he played well against Everton, even though he didn't win the game. He hit the post and the crossbar. I mean, how's that? Could you not play him up front?
Well, all right.
I just need to see the facial expressions KG was going through.
Man said Rodrigo. I'm gonna be real.
Rodrigo did not have a great game against Everton. He hit the bar twice, yes, but where he's being deployed it's not working out, which is why Van der Beek and all the other players that played in Everton's midfield had joy. And you mentioned up front, but we've literally had Rodrigo fit, but he still puts Dan James up front ahead of Rodrigo, so that should tell you something as well.
No, but that's what I mean. If it ain't working, and technically he is a striker, or he, you know, what I mean, he's more than Dan James. Like no.
Listen.
Why'd you buy him then?
Is stubborn. He's stubborn, and that's what's hurting us. His stubbornness and his ability just to play his favorites is not helping us right now. It's actually killing the team, but there's nothing we can do about it. There's nothing we can do.
Cage is just like, I'm fucking fed up with this shit. So George, just quickly then, just to finish up, what do you think the league? Obviously, you want Man United to lose because you're trying to get top four. What do you think the score will be though?
Well, I agree with everything you guys have said, so I've not really got too much to add. So this game could be anything, man. I think going off of how Man United have been playing recently, I do think the red card for Brighton helped them big time as well. I'm gonna go with a 2-2 draw. I think if you can overload the Man U defense, they're gonna struggle. So I think a couple of goals in this game.
Fair do. So, KG, just on the score prediction, what do you think the score will be, bro?
Yeah, I mean, I've got the score prediction I've had in my mind all week long, but it's like what people keep saying in terms of Brighton and Burnley, but they set up and organize in a way where it's tough to break them down. And we don't set up like that. We did in the second half of last season, but we haven't seen it all this season. And that's what kills us. That's why people can just rip through us at will. And if he's going to play Mateus Klick and Rodrigo in midfield, then it's going to be probably game over in the first 10 minutes. So at this moment in time, I do have a 4-1 scoreline for Man United. But the other side of me does see like a Dan James 2-1 winner. If that is to happen, it was going to be something like that. But what I will say is if CR7 does score at Ellen Road, he cannot do the Sue thing in the corner because he will get pelted. So I hope that his team advised don't do it. It's true because we've literally thrown the crowd there have literally thrown bottles at Burnley players, Brentford players. So if Ronaldo does that Sue thing in the corner, it's going to be mad. So I hope that he just goes to the center circle and do it in a different location. So
the little,
but yeah, 4-1.
You know,
as always, I just hope my team prove me wrong, but we'll see.
Yeah, it could be cuff season because some of them bottles might be like, you know what I mean? Aaron, what you think for score prediction, bro?
Before I give my score predictions, you guys blocked him already. Shout out to the guy that called you guys glory hunters because you're copyright. I love these type of comments because you know it's always funny, you know, people telling other people how to support their club. It is what it is.
I missed that one. Yeah, I'll talk to you about that afterwards.
Score prediction for the game. You know what? I'm gonna say 3-1. I know we're not gonna put out our best team, but I think if let's say Ronaldo comes off the bench, I can see him score. If a Bruno comes off the bench, I can see him score as well. So yeah, I think it might be like a 1-1 game till the 60th, 70th minute. But once our players come off the bench, the strong ones, they can make the difference.
Cool.
And just on that as well, I mean, McTominay always turns into Xavi against us. And Pogba this year has got 4 of his 7 assists against us in that one game. So, you know, the Leeds tax is pretty
Hey, come on, Leeds, man. Come on, man. What's going on there, man? Flipping hell. Come on, man. I need a Leeds win, man. Moving on to the other. Well, actually, no. I mean, obviously, it's the biggest game of the group, which is obviously Leeds versus Man United. But the biggest game of the weekend is definitely Tottenham Man City. Big game. I mean, no, George, come on, mate. You've got. Listen, I fully understand why you haven't got any optimism, but please fill me with because you're the only team that ever played well against Man City. Really, Now, if you really deep your record against them, it's
No,
very
they ain't
good,
had.
bro.
At asterisks at home.
Yeah, all right, fair enough. I didn't want to put that bit in. I'm trying
agendas.
I'm trying to run agendas here, George. I'm trying to run
I'm gonna be
agendas.
real. This game should have been on after 9 p.m. George. Sorry to say.
Right. Let's have a little bet. I'm saying there's going to be a 5-goal difference. You can have the rest in this game.
Bloody hell! You actually think they're gonna pipe you like that?
We struggle at the Etihad.
We are in deep shit.
Caught me off guard that way. Yeah, I can't lie. Last time not the last time, but I was there when we got pumped 4-1. Even when we got through in the Champions League, we lost that game 4-3.
Yeah.
And then I think we lost in the league that same week, like 1-0. I think Foden tapped it in, if I'm not mistaken, or Jesus. So yeah, I can't lie. I'm not looking. If it was at home, it would be a completely different story. I think my only hope is Son has got a very good record scoring against Man City, so all my hopes are resting on him. So the game's going to finish 5-1. Look, if we had played better in recent games, I'll definitely be here being a lot more optimistic. But with the way City have been, with the way we've been looking at our squads, it's going to have to be some major upset. Like, I'll be extremely happy with a draw if we can get it, but I very much doubt it.
Looks like I'm going to be putting 200 quid down on City to win the game then, man. Fuck it.
Which will be four losses in a row in the league. First time for Conte in probably like 27 years. Probably since he's been playing.
Ever. Surely Conte's never won 4 league games and lost 4 league games in a row. Surely that's never ever happened.
It's been 13 since he lost 3 in a row. So bloody hell. Then about 4 is going to be like probably back in his playing days.
And probably not even then. He played for Juve. I doubt he ever lost 4 games in a row at Juve. Blipping hell.
Man, I'm not too confident, but we'll see. I'm torturing myself and going there anyway because you've always got to be there just in case the upset happens. But
this is what we always do. But we all say we're never going to get drunk again when we wake up and we're asleep on the sofa with one shoe on and we're dribbling. But then we always end up getting drunk at some other point. It's just how it goes, isn't it?
Listen, I did it with the Chelsea games where we had the 30-year record without winning at Stamford Bridge, and I was there when we did. So you never know. It could happen again, but I think I'm trying to
manifest this Tottenham. Even a draw, bro. You don't even need to win.
A draw would be huge.
Draw the game. Just make them guys drop some points somewhere. Please, somebody. Jesus. They're just rolling over everyone like it's flipping kids against men. It's a joke. Aaron, talk to me. Give me some confidence, man. You hate Man City just as much as I do, bro. Come on, man. Tottenham. What can Tottenham do in this game, bro?
Listen, I believe in Spurs. Yeah, you man. No, honestly, you guys brought in some nice signings, man. Brought in some nice signings, but no. Let's be honest. I think Spurs are going to want to. I think they'll sit very deep, which will help Man City a lot. Man City are flying high. They just slapped Sporting 5-0.
Yeah, it's a joke, isn't it?
I'm afraid it might be the same outcome, man. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry.
5-0. So you're going for 5-0, yeah?
You know what? I'm not going to be too harsh. I'm going to say 3.
The pity result, the pity.
3-0 Man City, 3-0.
I'm out here stressed.
Nothing to stress,
My forehead veins coming through on that. Like,
this will be George. This will be George before the game.
I ain't gonna let him show me up. I'm good.
KG, talk to me. Spurs. Is there any hope, bro?
Oh man, listen, I wish there was, because I actually do want Tottenham to really contend for the top 4 spot, but the last 2 results have been they've been appalling. both Southampton and Wolves are decent teams, but to lose both of them at home, it just tells you. And the way Conte is coming out with some of his quotes, I just don't see the guy lasting past the summer. I'm afraid, George. He seems really, really fed up already. He's kind of gone to where Jose Mourinho goes in like the third year of his tenure, and he's already sounding really stressed. So, and the way Man City are moving, I've got 4-0 in my head, so I'm going to stick with Man City 4, Tottenham 0.
Boy, it looks like it's going to be a Mandingo party. Carl, what are we saying, bro?
You asked earlier what can Tottenham do? Maybe wear something sexy to the game because they're gonna look like Valentine's, bro. They should have played this game on Monday. They should have played this game on Monday. Sorry, Jordan.
Can we just do an Arsenal and just like postpone the game for no reason? Just not have to play this.
This game should have been played on Monday still.
Oh man. So what's your score prediction, bro?
4-0. 4-0.
Matt, just complete the set, bro.
Fuck it.
No, 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 no,
Tottenham are finished.
Mr. Superman not here.
I'm gonna be real. Tottenham are finished. I know this is piling onto George, but I see minimum 3-0 City minimum. Like I have to be honest, they're gonna. The way how Spurs are at the moment, and the way how they haven't improved their squad, all jokes aside, like I know they probably will do a lot of things in the summer, but we're talking about like the weekend. Man City are going to go ham, and as much as I want Spurs to win, I don't see it happening. I just think Man City are just gonna, they're gonna finish. I hate to say it, they're gonna finish them. I can't even lie. I'll be so shocked if it's like half an hour gone and it's 0-0.
Oh, wow. So you literally think it's gonna be duppy that early, yeah?
Bro, 23. Remember I said this. 18, 21 minutes in, Raheem Sterling. Then they'll probably get on and you'll see a bit of. Maybe a bit of KD, but you can already see it, like, because
saying 8 minutes for the first goal.
Oh, right.
Oh shit, boy.
Listen, I'm saying, what? How long did you say? 8 minutes? You said.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go for 6.
What?
Flipping,
This isn't a game of odds. What is happening here?
Jesus.
Say 6 minutes.
Flipping no. Next week, someone's going to be like, earliest goal scored this season. Like, flipping no.
Man City, they don't mess about. But the thing is, they always smell blood. So they know when like a team is like, put it like this, they know when a team is really set out to stop them. They know Spurs can't stop them, even if they play very defensive. They'll open them up. It's going to be horrible.
We all know how this weekend's going to pan out. Pep is going to have his conference. He's going to say, oh, they're a really good team. Really good team. One of the best. One of the best in the world. One of the best. They'll pump us 5-0. 5-0. And then the first conference after is, oh, Conte, the best manager ever. Everywhere you go, he win league. He win league. Amazing. While he goes and wins the league by like 20 points. I'm like,
That's so spot on. That's spot on.
I'm not gonna lie, he is mocking the thing, innit? He is mocking it. He is.
Always.
Yeah.
You know what kills me? You know what kills me with Pep as well? Yeah, his team will put 5. Like his team put 5 past Sporting Lisbon, and he was there in the press conference talking about how he can improve things, and I'm like,
exactly.
Yeah.
It's not good enough. We should have scored 7, 8, 9. Oh,
yeah. Oh, come on, man!
Not good enough.
5 past him, like, come on.
Yeah, he's mocking the thing. He is. I mean, he's the best. So this is what you get to do when you're the best in it. But yeah, he's mocking it. He's absolutely mocking it. And just quickly, is there any fixtures on there that you guys just think are interesting just before? I mean, what West Ham and Newcastle, could that be interesting with Newcastle's form?
Brighton Burnley looks great.
Yes, I think so. I think Newcastle would probably want to solidify their spot outside of the relegation zone.
Arsenal Bradford.
Trippier's a big loss now.
Yeah, I'm trying to point this one out. Man said I highlighted it. Arsenal Brentford is one to look out for, you know. Don't get twisted.
No,
You know
no,
what?
no. Arsenal are going to smoke Brentford. Let's
You
not
say
be.
that
Arsenal
now.
win that one.
Nah.
Arsenal are going to
Alright,
smoke Brentford, man. Let's not
okay.
be silly, man.
Yeah.
If this was
Alright.
beginning of the season, I'd be more in favour of Brentford, but
Yeah.
they've recently not been. They've not
Yeah,
been
they've
good.
fallen
Listen,
off.
man, Tony's off his holiday. He'll be all right, man. He
Yeah,
might
but
do
ever
something,
since he
man.
went on that holiday, he ain't been the same, bro.
Listen, man.
Yeah,
He's about to go in and say, "Fuck Brentford, sign the contract with
No,
Arsenal."
rumor is,
Yeah, bro.
rumor is they'll start him. I don't know. Rumor is they'll start him as drinking it. I don't know. Starting him as drink.
I do think
You
the
know
Trippier
what?
thing's
I'm
huge for
actually
Newcastle,
looking forward to Crystal Palace and Chelsea as well. You know, that should be an interesting game.
You're right, actually.
Yeah, Gallagher can't play though, right?
though.
Oh,
No.
Can he?
no.
Did they? Oh
No,
no, he's on loan.
no,
They would have put that
no.
clause in. Most
Yeah,
likely.
I forgot, man. I forgot.
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah,
at
Chelsea will
least-
get out of there with a victory, I reckon.
Oh, how do you pronounce it? Elisa he's a techie baller. I wanted to
Very.
keep shining.
Yeah.
He looks so good.
I think he's
Very.
special. Yeah, he is. He's good, man. I like him. Do you know what? I think Southampton, Everton could be a cracker. You know. Would you?
That
not
has the
think?
ability to be a 4-4 or an absolute stinker 0-0.
Yes.
It does. It does. But
Yeah.
I'm thinking the 4-4 is more likely the way both teams are kind of going into the game, though. I think that's a one to watch. I think that game could be interesting. All right, well, let's just quickly bring up the fantasy league chart, if you could, please. I mean, the reason why I think George does the best Pep impression is because he is the Pep of this league. He's absolutely
Literally
taking the piss out of this.
Tottenham hire me. When Conte walks, I'm available.
I'm not even gonna lie. I give up on fantasy, man.
Yeah, do we
every
have
week.
to do this?
Every week.
Can you not see that? Or can I make it a bit? Actually, no, that's cool.
Yeah.
I make
George is way out in the lead. Like, it's not even a competition, really. Let's be honest. KG holding strong in second place, though. Credit to KG. He's been holding that second place the whole time, and it looks like he won't give it up.
This is the Premier League. This is the Premier League. George is Man City, KG Liverpool, Matt is Chelsea, and then you just got the rest of us.
I mean, I don't know if I want to be putting that bracket just yet, but yeah, I get it.
We are, come on, Drift. We are, bro.
Well, 10 days ago, I was above Matt, so I'm not going to put myself in that category just yet.
Craig David in 7 days.
Drift, I'm not gonna lie, the gap is widened, fam. To be fair, Drift last.
But 57 points ain't the hardest amount to catch up. But I've had 2 bad weeks. Yeah, I've had
You got to worry about Callum. Don't worry about me.
You're talking like that, yeah? Okay.
No, but I'm just saying,
look in the mirror.
I'm closer to you than you are to Matt, bro.
Yeah, but I'm not really worried about you. But you know what I mean? It is what it is.
You're gonna have to be. We're all gonna be in the basement together. Don't worry, I got light down there for you. Bro.
Yeah, I mean, the tightest battle right now, Aaron. I've got to give you credit, bro. You caught up with Lewis still. There's only 2 points in. Now, at one point, I thought you were destined to be bottom with no saving. So I actually got to rate you for that one still.
Yeah, but 9 points as well. I'm not gonna lie, bro. I was on a charge right now.
You know what I'm saying? But you know, the sun shines and the dogs are some days, innit? You sit there, Matt, thinking you're a bad boy. We'll see.
Oh, why are you getting so upset? Why are you upset?
I'm not gonna lie to you. Aaron,
it's about consistency.
We're not careful in 2 games, bro.
Yeah, a lot of things can happen in 2 games, so we'll see, innit? I think the only thing that we all know that ain't going to happen is George is going to get caught. That's the only thing that's a guarantee in this league right now.
Do you know what?
Never say never.
I just realised why Drift's upset. Look at everyone's game week's points.
I did 4 times, you know.
Of course I'm upset.
Why
would I not be?
On him.
No, but I was thinking, why are you so angry? Then I realized
I'm not angry. I'm not angry. I just you've been behind me the entire season, and then you slip ahead for 2 game weeks, and all of a sudden all the cockiness comes out. I'm like, all right, mate, calm down. Like, do you know what I mean? But
don't worry, man. 24 points is at least it's more than 23.
Yeah, it is what it is. We'll see. But there you have it, people. Obviously, we'll be back next week, same time, same place. At the moment, if games get in the way, we may have to reschedule. But at the moment, it's looking like it'll be same time, 9:30 as always. Big up the panel, do you know what I mean? Big up, obviously. Welcome back, Aaron. You know what I mean? You come back at the right time, bro. Next week, we'll have to have the conversation about who did what they were supposed to do in the Leeds Man United game, and
yeah, and it will be a day after Atletico as well. So.
Oh yeah. So it'll be very interesting. And George, obviously, I don't know if you're gonna be coming back with sunburn or a suntan. That one's gonna be very interesting to you know what I mean, see what happens. Are you gonna get cooked or are you gonna enjoy yourself? You know?
That's a baby.
Hey,
Sorry, I missed that. I didn't even hear that.
Bro. Marquez's comment has just killed me.
Yeah, but you know what? Marquez can talk. Marquez can talk. Marquez can talk. I'm not. For anyone who doesn't know, Mark A's top of the Kop-Ish league. So you know what? He's the Pep of our league. So I'll let him talk his talk. But you know what, Mark? If you fall off, I'm coming for your neck, bro. I'm coming for your neck. So we'll see, innit? We'll see. We'll see. But on that note, on that note, you know, no, that was a good one, Mark. That was actually a good one. That was a good one. You know what I mean? But on that note, it's a pleasure having you boys on as always. You know what I mean? Make sure you go in the description, guys, and subscribe to everyone's channel. Make sure you get over and do that, guys. All three are doing great things. Make sure you smash that like button. You should have already done it, people, but please make sure you smash that like button. Make sure you subscribe if you're new. And as I said, people, we will be back tomorrow for the... Actually, guys, we may have the preview tomorrow in the daytime. Stay tuned to the socials. KG's gone. He's gone.
He's fully gone.
Done.
He's fully done.
But yeah, we may have the preview tomorrow, guys, for the Norwich game. So stay tuned to the socials. That may be happening tomorrow around 2 or 3 p.m. in the afternoon. And then obviously, you know, we've got the Friday show at 7 o'clock. But stay tuned to see whether the preview will be happening during the day. But if not, we'll see you at 7 o'clock tomorrow, guys, for the Kopish call-in. You know, that's always a big one. And as I said, make sure you subscribe to everyone. Everyone's links are in the description. We got any super chats before we leave out, Cal?
Yeah. So Ronaldo is not a top 20 player in history. Cat Sunday. Come on.
Silly believe.
Come on. Easily top 20s. Easily top 5, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's not even a debate.
Aiden says KG Leeds going to win the championship next season.
What you mean?
KG went from being the happiest man on the panel to the most angry in a split second.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, that just fully slapped the happiness out of KG, but you know, KG, I'm not gonna lie. Thanks for taking the heat off me there, bro. Still.
You guys are unbearable.
Oh man.
Mario says United need to gain confidence for the City game. Yeah, we need a couple favors, man. We need a couple favors.
That is true, but again, that's some false positive thinking that Man United or Tottenham are going to do anything to City in it. Let's just be real, man.
This will be Man United against Man City, like, you know. That's the energy that they're bringing. That's
Aaron, are you at home for that game or away, the City game?
Let me check now. 1 second.
If Man United are at home, I've got a glimmer of hope of a draw. Like there's glimmer.
There's more chance than winning at the Etihad Drift.
No, we're playing away.
They drew away last year, right?
They play better away from home, bro. Trust me, they'll get pammed at home.
No, but I'm just thinking maybe Man City, they don't necessarily like to travel to Old Trafford. I'm thinking more of that than I am anything else.
Man, on some Keith Sweat business, you know.
Pause.
Man's looking to hear Twisted.
I would have probably said more the KY jelly than the baby oil, but you know what I mean.
Man, he's got straight Q sweat there, boy.
Hey, man said nobody.
Who can love you like
like
me?
me.
Who can beat you like a bee? Nobody, baby.
And the TV's playing on.
I want your body.
The very last time.
I wanna own you.
Oh man.
Tell me to stop.
Look at you. Look at you and your big age.
Oh, flipping hell. You know what? On that note, no, love, peace. You know what I mean? That's a great way to end the show. Matt, take us out, man. We'll be back next Thursday, people.
We are back in full effect. All right, check us out next week. We out, people. Have a blessed one.
Peace.